So, you've heard about holistic diets and you're wondering how you can get started? Well, you're in the right place. So, this is a three-part series on holistic diets and therapies. And in this three-part series, here's what we are going to cover. So, the first part is the difference between a holistic and a modern diet. The second one is 11 kinds of holistic diets and therapies and which to choose when. And this last part, which we're going to be talking about now, is 4 ways to get started with a holistic diet. So if you want, you can go ahead and take a look at the first 2, but we're going to be talking about the 4 ways that you can get started. So most of these points are probably not completely new to you, but I really encourage you to look into all of the details because you might find a new reason to give them a try, even if you haven't already. So first, let's just do a recap on what differentiates a holistic diet from a modern one. So there's 4 characteristics of a holistic diet, and they are that they optimize your digestion. So it's not really focusing on energy burn, like energy in, energy out. It's focusing on making sure that the function of your digestion is actually working properly. The second is that it focuses on nature, also on seasons. So there's a big connection between you and nature. The third one is that it takes into account your personal likes. So this isn't about eating foods that you don't like for the sake of meeting some type of goal. This is actually about exploring and finding the foods that you actually like that also really resonate with your health goals. And the last one is that there's an emphasis on food quality. So if you're only focusing on calories in versus calories out, then you're probably not focusing on food quality. So, you can eat processed food that's still low calorie, but it might not be good for you from a holistic perspective. So holistic diets really focus on high quality foods. Okay, so let's get started here. The first thing that I really recommend you do is you take a food intolerance test. So a food intolerance test will show you what foods your body is having difficulty processing, even if you don't feel like you have any negative symptoms. The overall goal here is that you want to know what does and doesn't work for your unique body. A food intolerance test is going to essentially point you in the right direction as to what kind of healing that you want to be doing. So you don't want to be picking a random diet and not see changes in your body because of an intolerance. And believe it or not, it's pretty common to build up an intolerance to foods that you have on a regular basis. So that means that you might not feel bad, but your digestive system is silently weeping. So what you can do is go to a clinic and see if you can do what's called an IgG test. This is the name of a blood test for food allergies. So it can cost anywhere from about $100 to $300 US if it's not covered by insurance in your area. The second thing I recommend doing is avoiding foods that you don't like. That might sound really obvious, but if you've been eating fruits and vegetables that make you want to cry and just eat a bunch of brownies, then it's time to stop doing what isn't working. There's a huge variety of fruits and vegetables out there that you can experiment with, so there is no need to focus on the ones that don't make you leap for joy. And if you aren't excited about the fruits and vegetables that you've been eating, it's possible that your body doesn't respond to them very well. And eating holistically means being able to listen to what your body needs, including when it says it doesn't want certain foods that you've heard are healthy. So I want to note that this doesn't mean that you should avoid fruits and vegetables altogether. The only way that you can start craving fruits and vegetables is to introduce it to your body by eating it regularly until you develop a liking for it or come to a conclusion that it's not for you. So you really want to experiment here. So first of all, get rid of the foods that you don't like. So if you hate boring salads, then don't eat those. If you hate broccoli, don't eat that. Start eating fruits and vegetables that you're actually okay with eating. And if you can eat that regularly for a little while, you might notice that your tastes start to change and your body starts to respond to it really well. But at the end of giving yourself a little experiment, if you don't really like the foods even then you don't have to keep on eating it. The point is that you're giving yourself a chance to try. So the third thing I recommend is that you pick local, seasonal, organic, whole foods whenever you can. So remember, Mother Nature doesn't want you to be overweight. So eating foods that grow where you're located is the easiest way to start feeling better because you're helping your body acclimate to your climate. This is something we talk about a lot with food energetics. The easier it is for your body to acclimate to your climate, the less stress it's going to have to try to keep your body healthy. And less stress equals easier weight loss. Also, you want to pick organic whenever you can because you don't want your body to have to get rid of chemicals that it didn't need in the first place, and that can potentially cause harm. So, the first thing you want to think of is opting for warming foods over cooling foods. So, one of the biggest difference that I see between a holistic diet and a modern one is that most holistic diets focus on keeping the body warm, which isn't talked about at all in modern diets. So this doesn't mean that you have to eat foods that are hot temperature all the time. It just means that you want to add in spices or vegetables that can create heat in the body. So this helps the body with digestion and circulation, which means that it's easier for your body to regulate your weight. In Western diets, in modern diets, people usually eat room temperature or cold foods like raw salads and smoothies. But in Eastern ways of looking at diets, and basically holistic concepts, where people don't really have as many weight issues, they usually have a warm breakfast, lunch, dinner, and they incorporate a lot of spices. So you really want to start experimenting with adding in spices like garlic and ginger to your meals. Okay, so now that we've covered the 4 ways that you can get started with a holistic diet, just go out there and explore and give everything a try and see how you feel. Because a holistic diet, I want to remind you, it's about what works for you. It's about making sure that you're resetting your body to actually function properly and to start doing things that really resonate more on a spiritual level. This is about a mind-body connection.